I've been doing it since 2015, so I think my favourite, just because it's where I started, and a lot of people cosplay her, but Harlequin, but the classic Jester Harlequin, and I made like the massive hammer, and that would be like, it's just one of those cosplays that's kind of special to me because that's where I started. But I like doing sort of the superhero villain characters, the strong women, but I've done a lot, like an absolute lot of different characters.
All right, Trendsetter, we're back with a brand new interview. Proud and happy to be joined by Aurora Rose. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Man, you have made some headway here with your Chyna cosplay. Follow her on all our social media at Aurora Rose Fitness. Aurora, welcome to the show. Welcome to HSP Podcast. How are you?
Thank you for inviting me. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, so talk about this. I mean, one day you pop up on my timeline and I had to do a double take. I'm sure everyone else did. And you did a great cosplay of the of Chyna, man, the ninth wonder of the world, man. That was awesome. And again, I showed the Trendsetter the video and he did double take too. So well done. Talk about that. Talk about what led to that cosplay of Chyna.
I've wanted to do her for quite a while. Like, a lot of my friends have like said, "Oh, you look like Chyna," and I've never had the confidence to do it. And I've been building up, sort of like muscle wise. And I was like, right, I'm doing it. And I just decided to order the costume. I had it custom made. The shorts. Sorry, that's my dog. The shorts. The shorts actually in the video, they never actually turned up on time, so I had to run around like the morning of Comic-Con for like some shorts that worked. And I was like, right, I'm doing it. I did not expect it to go that crazy.
Yeah, it's funny though, Trendsetter, because just this past week they had the A&E biography of DX, right? And they're talking about the importance of Chyna and how she was kind of the glue that stuck things together. What related you to Chyna? I mean, I know you've been told that, you look like her and then you built up, but like, what about her is it that you admire?
She's just an inspiration for like a strong woman. Like, if you look into Chyna as a person, like, she felt like she never fit in anywhere. And for me, I really relate to that. Like, growing up, I felt like I never fit in. I was like the chubby kid at school with weird likes and interests. And yeah, for me, she's just an inspiration of a strong woman. And she set absolute trends. Like, she did what no one's ever done since.
Yeah, definitely, and it continues to be talked about and revered long after. Unfortunately, she's no longer with us here. But my question to you is, watching Chyna and her being an inspiration to you, was wrestling something that you were constantly watching growing up, or is it something you caught towards the tail end? When was your first experience like of watching pro wrestling?
I actually got into wrestling with like, my ex used to watch WWE, so I really got into it then. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I discovered Chyna, and I was like, oh, this woman's something else. Like, so for me, sort of like the Attitude Era is my favorite era, but I was kind of watching it sort of when people like Goldberg and Taker kind of came back into WWE. That's when I sort of clicked on to WWE.
So how have you taken this kind of like instant, like, people are been drawn to you? Like I said, that video got a lot of views, a lot of, you obviously, like, your IG must have blown up a little bit too with that as well. So your social media, how are you taking it in? Like, did it surprise you that a lot of people would be taken aback by that, be in a positive way, because you were just spot on with the outfit? Like, how are you treating this newfound all eyes on you kind of aspect?
It's great. Like, I still can't get my head around it. It's really crazy. Like, it's just gone mad. Like, I'm sat there one night watching telly and my Apple Watch it's just buzzing, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, and the video obviously just went, and I'm like, oh my god, this is insane. And I'm just like getting, my socials just went through the roof. I'm like, oh, I was blown away. I'm still blown away by the sheer amount of love I've received for cosplay in Chyna. Like, just absolutely mind blown. And it's been really, really nice, like amazing.
Now, you said, for example, you saw it towards the tail end. You saw you were introduced with wrestling through your ex, and you kept watching it and really enjoyed China. But has this now, had Jeff mentioned before, this newfound sense of popularity, of notoriety, has it kind of shown you in the kind of a small glimpse of the wrestling fan out there? Because I'll always discuss with people, whether it be cosplay, you go to Comic Cons, you have Star Wars fans, Star Trek fans, fans of all over, sports fans, but I don't think I've ever really come across individuals who are as dedicated and as committed as pro wrestling fans.
It has been something else. Like, it's just the sheer amount of fans just like messaging and everything. It's just been insane. So yeah, it's kind of amazing in a way. There's such a strong community within the wrestling. Like, I thought doing the cosplay and that was quite a strong community, but the wrestling community is different, and it's, for me personally, been very supportive, to the point I'm now, well, next month I start training to do wrestling myself.
All right, that's awesome. Where are you training with? Who are you training with?
WAW in Norwich.
That's awesome. That's great. So you've taken now that passion, and you're taking it now to the ring and actually trying to hone that craft. So that's pretty awesome, man. It's a big step, right? What made you decide, hey, I want to try to do it in the ring?
Why not give it a go? Like, life's a journey, so I love watching it. So why not give it a go myself?
Now, is this something, for example, most people will always go in with a certain perception or not knowing basically what they're diving themselves into? If things work themselves out, let's say you take your first bump and you fall in love with it, right? Is it something where you want to continue doing this, or have you even thought of, before training, have you even thought about where you kind of want to position or kind of generate where your character is going to come from?
I haven't really thought about like the character and stuff. I just want to kind of learn, see if I like it. Like, I'm quite a tomboy, so I can take a good bump. So we'll see where it goes.
That's great, because there's a lot of like you were talking about, the wrestling fans, they're very loyal too, right? So like if you do something in this business, if you even just your cosplay and just having everybody remember or maybe pay tribute to Chyna, Joni Laura, like you're gonna get a lot of loyal fans come up to you. You obviously you're getting messages, good positive feedback. You ever, like, have you come to the States? Have you ever thought maybe like doing the like bookings or something like that, where you come do like those Comic Cons here or something like that, or wrestling conventions around here? Yeah, would you be open to that?
Oh, I'd definitely be open to it. It's just I've never been to the States before, like ever. Like, I've hardly travelled, but it would be cool. Like, it has been a dream of mine to go to Comic Cons in the States, because there's something else, like, compared to British Comic Cons. Like, for example, like New York Comic Con, that's like the holy grail of Comic Cons, and San Diego Comic Con and stuff. But yeah, maybe one day.
Now, this isn't, now obviously doing China has been the one that's gotten you the most pop. No, I wouldn't say the most, but you've gotten really noticed by doing China, right, through the wrestling community. So, but this isn't the first thing you've done in terms of doing cosplay. You've done other outfits and other uh, versions of things you've wanted to do. Can you name some of the ones you've enjoyed doing the most besides China?
Tough one. I've been doing it since 2015, so I think my favourite, just because it's where I started, and a lot of people cosplay her, but Harlequin, but the classic jester Harlequin, and I made like the massive hammer, and that would be like, it's just one of those cosplays that's kind of special to me, because that's where I started. But I like doing sort of the superhero villain characters, the strong women, but I've done a lot, like an absolute lot of different characters.
How much time and prepping did it take to do the whole China thing? I know, for example, you were kind of putting things together. What was the process like? What were the biggest difficulties you found in trying to come up with the whole China cosplay getup?
I think the biggest difficulty was finding someone that dealt in leather, because I obviously wanted the whole leather outfit, and it's finding someone that specifically made outfits out of leather, because I can sew, but I was like, it's not going to be as good if I make it. So it was kind of tracking someone down that did that. I didn't really have a problem with the belt. I got that pretty quickly. I mean, it cost a fair bit to put China together. It's about 300 quid, like UK money.
Mhm.
Um, It was more the training. Like I proper hit my weights. I know I'm not as built as Chyna, but I was trying as hard as I could to get as ripped as I could before Comic-Con.
What's one of the misconceptions of pro wrestling as you're going to get into it that you kind of want to like dispel that like, oh, I've heard this, but until I find out what it's, what it's like, I'm not going to know, is it the business? Is it the behind the scenes? What is the most that you're curious about to have your questions answered about the business? Obviously, you're getting into it soon. So what's one of the questions you want to kind of dispel the rumors that you want to like find out, oh, is this really how it works? Or what's one of the things that you're looking forward to?
I think a lot of people, when you say, oh, wrestling, they're like, oh, it's all a setup, like it's nothing. I kind of want to dispel that rumor because I know it is hard work. Like I've looked into it and it's hard work, and I've come to know like people that wrestle, and yeah, it's physically demanding and it's hard work. So I want to kind of dispel that rumor.
As you're obviously doing the media game now and you're coming on podcasts and you're doing that stuff, is that something about your personality? Have you always been outgoing? Were you normally shy as a kid? Like what, like now, like part of it is not just the athletic side, but also is promoting yourself, being in front of the camera. How do you feel about that? Is that something you look forward to, or is that something that you fear, kind of like showing more of yourself to the world?
Yeah, I think it's that kind of, I've got to still get used to showing me. Sort of growing up, I was a very shy kid. Like I wouldn't talk. And as I grew older and older in my teenage years, I actually had an eating disorder for years. And I couldn't even look at people in the face. I couldn't talk to people. I used to hide, and I used to hide myself. And it's kind of getting used to that, actually showing myself. But I've got to a place now where I'm happy and comfortable in myself. So yeah, it'd be nice to kind of see how far I can push myself and push my confidence, because I've always had a lot of anxiety about it.
Well, now in terms of pushing your confidence and having that self awareness of who you are as a person, as opposed to where you were when you first started off. I mean, I know what it's like to be shy, have self consciousness about yourself, but you seem to be in a better place now. A lot of it has to do with the fact that you said too that you're in fitness too, and that has helped you along the way. You're getting ready to use that to prepare for China, but in what way has that helped you also implement, like you said, where you are now? But are you not only also looking to take yourself physically to the next level? Like, what's the next level for you physically?
Physically, I want to build more muscle. Like I've been weight training 3 years. It's been a hard process because I was like really, really tiny. And I want to see how far I can push my own body and how strong I can actually get. That's kind of my goal.
Mhm. You mentioned about having a eating disorder as a child, and you've obviously you've shared your past before on your social media too. How has that shaped you to make you the person you are right now as you go forward into your new aspect of pro wrestling?
I suppose I'd say I've got more of an understanding, and I will share my personal story, because in my head, if it helps one person, that's my job done. And hopefully by sharing my story, like people that are struggling, they can go, well, I can get there as well. And for me, that's a good thing. If I've helped someone in any kind of way, that's an amazing thing for me.
Now, the thing with like, I want to also dive into too, as well as you start on this journey of yours of where you plan on going, of diving into pro wrestling. Again, like Jeff said, getting used to doing these scenarios where you're talking to individuals and answering questions and really showcasing a lot of yourself and maybe some vulnerable sides of yourself as well at the same time. But how can you kind of let the audience know of you trying to now balance all these things out for yourself, your fitness, cosplay, going into wrestling? How important has it been, for example, on TikTok, Instagram, social media? How much of an integral part of it is in your life? Do you balance it out really well, or are you still trying to figure out those kinks?
It's kind of, since kind of everything's gone a bit mad, it's kind of hard to balance everything, because a lot of my time is taken up by training. And like I'm still getting used to it, because obviously everything's just gone mad. So I'm trying to dedicate time, and I'm quite chaotic. Like I'm a bit useless at like organizing myself.
Yeah, we all are to an extent. I'm pretty chaotic too. I mean, I got to work with this guy, so it's
Yeah, it's tough, man. He's got a busy schedule. I got a busy schedule, but we have to do these interviews, and so excited to do this one with Aurora Rose. Really, thank you for joining here on the HSP podcast. So, listen, you're also doing another venture as well too that you're promoting in October, which is a journey into cosplay. That's coming out in October. I've seen you promote that on your social media. Talk about that a little bit, and how awesome is this for you in October to to do a panel group as well with this too. So just talk about that.
So it's my friend Lee. He runs J25 Productions, and he asked me to partake in this documentary, and it's basically a journey into cosplay. So as a cosplayer, it's kind of talking about my journey and how it's helped me. So for me, cosplay has helped me come out of my shell, and it's helped me deal with like my own demons. So the anxiety, obviously the eating, getting more comfortable in. It's almost like you can hide behind a character and not be you, but you're you. But it helps you build your confidence. And I'll be talking about as well, sort of. Me personally, I wasn't in a great relationship either, and I'll be discussing that. It's kind of a journey, how it's all helped me. And to be honest, if I hadn't got the friends I had through cosplay, I don't think I'd have been where I am today. And it's kind of the power of cosplay. Like, it's amazing.
Well, no, that's great. You found a community there, and most people that talk about, for example, pro wrestling have huge misconceptions of it too. And you just kind of talked about it too in terms of the friendships, the ability of feeling comfortable in your own skin, in some ways hiding in a little way behind a character, but also gaining that confidence within yourself, not only by doing that, but again, you mentioned your fitness, gaining confidence by doing that though. So what would you say for some of the outside? Like, I've admired cosplay. I enjoy people in the elaborate costumes that they come up with, and I'm looking at like, wow, that is amazing, and the time of effort that's been put in to do that though. But in terms of wrestling and cosplay, what would you say is one of the main misconceptions that people have when they look at that world?
I think when they look at cosplay, they're like, you're an adult, why are you dressing up? They don't get it. A lot of people don't get it.
Yeah, these are the same people that dress up for Halloween here in the States. So it's like, yeah, those are the same people who are critiquing it. I don't understand that.
I kind of say, if you're kind of interested in cosplay, or you're like, oh, it looks interesting, go to a Comic-Con. Like, it doesn't really matter as a cosplayer whether you've got like store-bought costume, you've made it yourself. It's all about fun. You're making friends. There's a whole big community. Like, it's not just about putting on a costume. It's just a great atmosphere.
Now, is that also in addition to, are you into the things like, for example, Marvel, DC? I mean, you said how much you wanted to do Harley Quinn, and the elaborate get up that you did, and the great detail you put into that. Is that something you're also into, or are you just more into the costumes and elaborate designs of it? Are you into the actual stories, like the comics and the movies that are coming out? Are you into that as well?
Yeah, I'm a huge geek, like a massive geek. So my
Yes, you found another one, Jeff.
my fandoms are like Marvel, DC, Harry Potter, because I grew up with that. Like, I'm a huge Harry Potter nerd. And now obviously the wrestling side of things as well, but those are like my go-to fandoms.
That is awesome. Not only, like I said, like she's probably like, if you come up to her, she's probably intimidating in that Chyna getup, right? But then you realize, oh, she's just like one of us. She's a Marvel, a DC geek, whatever. She likes Harry Potter or something. She's approachable, guys. You know what I mean? Like, she's she's
Unless
got
she probably
great-
body slam you, she probably won't unless you offend her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's awesome, man. And I think also too, like, there's so much with cosplay and wrestling. It's such like, it's a show, right? It's a show that you put on for people, and again, you get to also like be that other character, right? So if you're not confident, you're like, okay, if I play this character, it's like Brian says to me tons of time. It's like you turn up the volume like 100%, right? You can be something that you don't think you could be originally, right? Through some other character. How tough is it not to get lost in that though? Because there's a lot of people in wrestling that have, like, let's, for example, like Ric Flair. Ric Flair is on that another notch. he knows only how to be Ric Flair. He can't be Richard Flair, the normal guy. He's always got to be that character that he plays. How tough is it to differentiate that and how to keep those characters apart? Because people can fall into it where they're like, oh, I'm this character, but to be myself, I don't have that confidence. How do you keep that balance?
I suppose once you begin to like yourself as a person, it's not that hard. Like I'll put my costume on, I can switch. Like I'm with my friends, and I will switch into a character if someone wants a picture, and then I'll switch back to me. Like I can't keep it up. Like I just go to Comic-Con to have a laugh with friends. Yeah, don't take yourself too seriously with anything. Just live for the moment.
Very, very well, very wise words by you. But between the two Comic-Cons, though, if you had to choose one that you had to go to, the first one you wanted to go to, is it the New York one or the San Diego one?
Probably the New York one, just because I've been told San Diego is like something else, and it's like huge and massive and no end of people. Although that's like the Grail Con. New York, I'm told, is a bit calmer. For me, like crowds is still like, oh my god. So probably the New York one for a start.
Yeah, they're lying to you, by the way. They're both chaotic. They're both very, especially New York. Especially New York. But speaking of that, though, as time's going by now, you're seeing all these previews of these movies coming out. Which ones are the ones you're looking forward to the most that are coming out right now?
Definitely the She-Hulk series. Definitely the She-Hulk series.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's something major. I think Sasha Banks was actually at the premiere of that. That's crazy, man. She-Hulk too. That I mean, it's going to be a great time for Marvel and DC. Of course, they always put out great products and stuff like that. I mean, that's awesome. Trusted, what are you looking forward to? What's the one thing that you're looking forward to coming out in the near future?
Oh, Jeff, there are just so many of them. But if I had to pick one of them that I'm really looking forward to, though, we all know how great the Marvel Universe has been with these multiverses now, and obviously just the Spider-Man movie that came out that Jeff and I saw too. It was amazing to see all three of those Spider-Men together. But to me, Black Adam, I'm looking forward to the most with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, because a lot of people have been talking about it, Jeff. And I don't know if you're not really into this world that I am, but Henry Cavill, who once originally played Superman and Man of Steel, could be making a cameo in that one. Those are the rumors. So to see the success of Black Adam and what The Rock does with it can open the door to a lot of other possibilities too. So to me, DC is really running behind Marvel right now. Marvel's running away with it, and DC's trying to catch up. So that's one of the ones I'm looking forward to the most, Black Adam.
Listen, Aurora Rose, where can people find you on your social media? I know you have tons of stuff. You got TikTok, you got your Twitter and your Instagram, and you do OnlyFans. So where can people find you on social media?
I think everything is Aurora Rose Fitness, apart from Twitter, which is Aurora Rose Fit, because the fitness bit was taken. But yeah,
that is smart. You've already won in social media because people can find you on the same thing. It sucks when people have different IGs, different TikToks. You've kept it simple, and we want to thank you for that. That's an applause right there. You kept it simple so we can find you everywhere. Listen, love the stuff that you're doing, man.
And real quick though, Jeff, just I don't apologize when I interrupt them. I just kind of want to do it anyway because I hate hearing them talk sometimes. But you're doing this whole documentary. I'm looking forward to seeing it when it comes out. But also, I think honestly there should be another documentary. And I know you're gonna be talking about most likely maybe doing a documentary or vlog series going to New York for Comic-Con, maybe San Diego. I think one that's really going to be really impressive if it's done, and I hope it is, and we would love to see it. You going to a WrestleMania. Yeah, that would be awesome because, like people say about Comic-Cons, right? Oh, you're not going to know what the experience like if you actually go to one. Very true. With WrestleMania and pro wrestling, you'll never have an idea of what that experience is like until you actually go to one. I'm pretty sure, Aurora, if you go to one, it won't be the last. You will fall in love with it, basically. From what you saw before on TV, nothing compares to it.
Yeah.
If I'm lucky enough to go, I will vlog it.
Yeah, I think they're having an event in a couple weeks too. Clash at the Castle too in Cardiff, I believe too. So I mean, they're getting back to touring in Europe and everything like that. So hopefully, you can make some connections. I'm pretty sure if you dress up in the Chyna Cosplay at a WWE event, I'm pretty sure that you're going to get noticed and something will come about it.
Get noticed. You're probably gonna have to go backstage.
Yeah. You know, but maybe Triple H. You never know. But
Exactly.
if Stephanie's not around. But listen. Now that we just know that you're a Marvel DC person, if you ever, we can review a movie once or twice up here if you're in the mood to do so.
Yeah.
And as you head to October, definitely want to have you back to talk about your panel that you're having in October too for your event too. So that'd be great. I mean, it'd be great to have you back on soon.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Yep. And again, Aurora Rose, thank you so much for coming on the HSP podcast. Really appreciate making the time. And I just want to tell you one thing. My partner right now is having a great mustache day. I'm not sure if you're into the handlebar mustache or guys with beards, but I think my partner is really rocking the handlebar mustache today. What do you think?
Beards are always good. Definitely rocking it.
See, exactly. It was a trend. That's why they call me the trendsetter. I guess all these things are becoming very popular. The handlebar mustache is back. So Aurora said it herself. Thank you.
Aurora Rose, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me on.